Up next on the center, the night belongs to Cal.
Oh, my goodness! He's done it again!
Out west, the Mariners swinging and thinking wild. The Brewers pulling out all stops while the Astros show the effects of a playoff hunt. Would Andre retain center stage at the Open? And will Monica add another chapter to her comeback? People, let's behave ourselves and hide the nachos. The Boomer and the President are in the same room. Hey, it's Cal's party, and you're invited on Sportscenter. Next.
Even when you know it's coming, it's still kind of exciting, like SportsCenter. Hello and welcome to the show, along with Craig Kilborn. I'm Gary Miller.
It's a very special feel-good edition, a surprise resignation in college hoops. Clemens goes for a season high, and Jolton Joe hasn't gone anywhere. He's with us honoring Cal.
He was there for Gehrig, he was there for Ripken, and most everyone was. Just over 100 men in baseball's 126 years have made it into a total of 2,131 games. To play them consecutively in a 13-year span is unthinkable for every player lucky or gifted enough to make it to the majors. Last season, only 4 other players took part in every game of a campaign strike-shortened by nearly a third. The year before, only Jeff Conine kept up with Cal. Cal Ripken passed Lou Gehrig September 6, 1995, but they will stand side by side in the record book and in grace and in dignity. It was a mystical evening. Phil Regan had the honor of putting his name in the lineup card as he does every night. The president was there with the vice president. Cal getting pumped up with his kids. His son Ryan, who was lucky enough to be born on an off day and keep the streak alive throughout the first pitch. And then Cal leads his team out on the field. Bobby Bonilla, who has been a teammate since July, got it going. It's been home run derby during this series against the Angels. Then Cal came up. And then came time to make it official. In the 5th, Orioles up 3-1 on Ripken's home run. Manny Alexander, one of his 30 second base partners, grabs the 3rd out in the top of the 5th. Cal comes in, and that's when things got out of hand. The flashbulbs went off, the balloons went up, and Cal went over and gave the shirt off his back to his daughter, Rachel. There's Joe DiMaggio looking on with Frank Robinson, Rod Carew, fellow Hall of Famer there. And then with the urging of Al Bumbry and Rafael Palmeiro, he went off on a victory lap. We had to do something to get this game going again. Cal took off. The fans each got a piece of him and a piece of history. And the Orioles win the game again, 4-2. They hit 10 homers on these 2 nights of celebration, but the last 13 have all come with the bases empty. Mike Mussina, by the way, joined Greg Maddux as the game's only 16-game winners by posting this triumph. Mussina also spoke for Ripken's current teammates in an endless ceremony after the game. You'll hear much more from that during the hour, but here's what Cal said when he got to the mic more than an hour after it began.
I know that if Lou Gehrig is looking down on tonight's activities, he isn't concerned about someone playing one more consecutive game than he did. Instead, he's viewing tonight as just another example of what is good and right about the great American game. Whether your name is Gehrig or Ripken, DiMaggio or Robinson, or that of some youngster who picks up his bat or puts on his glove. You are challenged by the game of baseball to do your very best day in and day out. And that's all I've ever tried to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cal. Here's how the record book will read. No asterisk. Cal Ripken Jr. now moves on top of Lou Gehrig 56 years after Gehrig was forced off the field by illness. By season's end, Ripken will be at 2,153 straight. Overall, he's played in 2,196, meaning at the end of 95, he'd have to play in 1,344 more games to equal Pete Rose for total overall games played. Much more from Cal as we continue through the hour, and you will also hear a leaping, screaming Bill Clinton. We're just getting started on the Ripken Watch. Greg?
There were other teams in action Wednesday night, including the Kansas City Royals. You really can't tell one of these players without a program. The Royals are not household names, but they are first in the AL wildcard race by a half game. The Royals have won 9 of 11 as they take on the Toronto Blue Jays, still the defending World Series champs, but no longer in playoff contention. To Kansas City we go, and a 50-minute rain delay at Kauffman Stadium. What are the fans doing? Watching Cal, of course. Bottom of 4, Gary Gaetti. Touch them all, Gare. You just went yard. Number 32 on the year, 3-1 Jays after 4, top of 5, 3-1 Blue Jays. Joe Carter hits a routine pop-up to the sure-handed Greg Gagne, and Gagne drops it. That's not Greg being Greg. Carter ends up on second. Next batter, John Olerud, the talented toothpick, singles to right, scores Carter. 4-1 Blue Jays with the lead. Bottom of the 5th, 4-1 Jays, bases juiced, 2 out for Brent Cookson. Al Leiter, Case Cookson to end the inning. The Blue Jays go on to win 6-2. The Blue Jays finished their road trip just 2-9. Their previous worst road trip for 8 or more games was 2-8 in July of 1977. The Royals stranded 10 runners, opened a 3-game series at Seattle on Friday. Mariners and the Yanks, Buck Showalter and the Yanks trail 3-0. Bottom of the 6th, Tim Belcher pitching to Deion James. Right at Seattle third baseman Doug Strange, who can't handle it. James safe at first on the Strange error. Then Donnie Baseball. Line drive to right center. Runners at first and third. Tony Fernandez. Base hit off the glove of Edgar Martinez. James scores. Yanks trail 3-1. Then it'll be Randy Velarde's turn. Well hit. And that's going to go off the wall for a double. Fernandez almost catches Mattingly as both runners score. We're tied at 3, and that's all for Belcher. O'Neill takes the first pitch for a base hit, scoring Velarde. Yanks come from behind to win 4-3. Jack McDowell, pitching on 3 days rest, throws a 6-hitter. He struck out 9 and walked 3, pitching his 7th complete game in 27 starts. He raises his record against the Mariners to 10-1. White Sox and the Rangers, top of 3, no score. Ray Durham at first. Ron Karkovice. Deep drive to right. Candy Maldonado. Glove the one you're with, Candy. Tremendous play. Top of the 4th, the Big Hurt versus Tukes. Hurt me. Just Tukes' 6th home run given up in 123 innings. Bottom of the 5th, tied at 2. Candy Maldonado plays long ball. 3-run homer, 9th of the year, 5-2 Rangers. White Sox get back in it in the 6th. Lance Johnson to spank, 2-run homer. Part of a 4-run inning, the White Sox win it. And the White Sox have won 8 straight. It's their longest winning streak since an 8-game run in 1991. The Rangers have lost 4 straight and 9 of 10. Gary.
The Astros say it started with Darren Lewis showing them up with a bunt in a blowout in late August. The Reds point directly to the elbow Pat Borders leveled at Benito Santiago Tuesday. And it probably had plenty to do with Cincinnati having swept all 11 meetings and closing in on a complete skunk of the Astros. Whatever ignited it, the feud in the Central exploded when Xavier Hernandez took aim at Jeff Bagwell's twice broken hand. Houston finally finished with the upper hand. And Wednesday, while they await suspensions, the two antagonists went toe-to-toe for the last time this season. And Pat Borders is a little calmer in this matchup. And that is gone. Mark Lewis with a 3-run shot off the Pacific Coast League Player of the Year. Donnie Wall into the Astro rotation, but out of the yard on him. And in the 3rd, Benito Santiago, who was a key player in that brawl, knocks it into the corner. 5-0 Reds. Wall didn't make it out of the third. Meanwhile, John Smiley, whose injuries came from pitching a little too much, made his first appearance since August 21st. He got Bagwell with a looper. He did give up a 3-run homer to Mike Sims, but he gave up just 4 hits overall through 7. He's now 12-2. The Reds stormed through the season set 12-1, reducing their magic number to clinch the Central to 10. Smiley has also won 8 straight on the road as the Reds head for the Rockies. Houston is in Philly on Friday. Speaking of the Phils, at Chavez Ravine this evening, the Dodgers had to win to hold on to the lead in the West. Shot at the box by Chad Fonville. Dave Hansen is a little over-aggressive. Runs through the sign, gets caught in the rundown. Elster, Lieberthal, Morandini is waiting to make the Dodgers out of a rally. Mike Grace, the Phils rookie, making just his second major league start, got Roberto Kelly. But Ismael Valdez was matching donuts in the outside corner, freezing Kevin Elster. 6 strikeouts for Valdez. Still a scoreless game in the 8th. Jim Eisenreich 90 feet away from giving the Phils the lead. Valdez hung the curve. Elster got enough of it to bring in Eisenreich. And that's all that happened. The Phillies pulled it out 1-0 to snap the Dodgers' 3-game win streak. LA finishes 4-9 against the Phils, including getting shut out 4 times. They'll both take Thursday off. LA is heading on a 9-game road trip through Pittsburgh, Chicago, and St. Louis. To the stick, the Giants trying to move past the Expos. Look out for that camera. Look out for that umpire. Top of the second, tied at 1. Tony Tarasco thinks he's got one. Dion's got other ideas. He's going for a climb. He won't get there. Tarasco's 12th. Expos up 2-1. By the 5th, they were up by 4 and then more. Mike Lansing lances a 3-run shot that'll score Segui and Barry. The Expos blow it up open, and Dion is thinking football. They win the season series 7-6 over San Francisco with an 8-2 win and break their tie in the wild card standings. Tevo Alvarez picks up his first win, gave up just 2 hits and 2 earned through 7 for his first major league win. Craig?
Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Brian Blades has formally been charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of his cousin Charles Blades. This comes 2 months after Brian Blades said it was an accidental shooting. His agent Drew Rosenhaus says Blades is disappointed and surprised with the manslaughter charges and has already filed the paperwork for a not guilty plea. And this is Blades at practice Wednesday. His lawyers said Wednesday that Blades, who is out on bail, will continue to practice and play for the Seahawks for the rest of the season. The Seahawks released a statement saying, "Our support and prayers are with Brian Blades." Plenty more to get to on this edition of SportsCenter, including Andre Agassi under the lights at Flushing Meadow. Could Peter Korda keep up with Andre? The Cubs and Rockies battle at Wrigley. Would Sammy make up for his glove work with his bat? And Ripken wasn't the only one reaching milestones Wednesday. The Rocket climbs another notch on the K-list. Stay with us.
You had to eat food loaded with fat and cholesterol. Now there's GNC's Pro Performance 1850 Weight Gainer, scientifically designed with 1,850 fat-free calories per serving. Pro Performance 1850, only at General Nutrition Centers.
Remember this date, fans. May 2nd, 1939. Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, has just taken himself out of the Yankee lineup for the first time in 14 seasons. 2,130 consecutive games, a record that will stand as long as young men play the game of baseball.
America's always been a country of inventors, a nation of relentless tinkerers, a land of improvisation. Businesses start in garages, hobbies turn into industries. And if you're Bank of America, you hold up your end of the job by making sure every business service is in place. For when the next brainstorm hits in the middle of the night, banking on America. Bank of America.
She was beaten and died of a blow to the back of the head.
In a world he doesn't belong.
I just want some answers.
Sorry, fella.
My name's not fella.
Easy Rollins is asking questions no one wants answered.
Get it.
Now, no one can stop him.
Start up my car, keep it hot, I'm coming out fast.
From finding the truth.
Don't lie to me!
Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, Devil in a Blue Dress, rated R. At theaters September 29th.
In the past, to gain weight, you had to eat food loaded with fat and cholesterol. Now there's GNC's Pro Performance 1850 Weight Gainer, scientifically designed with 1,850 fat-free calories per serving. Pro Performance 1850, only at General Nutrition Centers.
The Red Sox are doing just the opposite of folding. They're running away with the AL East, and key players are peaking. Jose and his bat speed beat the A's Tuesday night. Wednesday, it's Roger Clemens trying to sit down the A's. The Rocket has won 4 straight decisions, and the Sox have won 13 of 17 to Fenway. And you might as well just cue up Elton John, because this is the Rocket Man. Strikes out Ricky, Danny Tartable, and Stan Javier. Clemens 8 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, and a season-high 10 strikeouts. Red Sox again get the offense from unlikely sources. Dwayne Hosey doubles down the third base line. 2 runs going to come in, and the Red Sox lead the game 5-1. Not finished in the 5th. Bill Hasselman, 2-run shot on the Lansdowne Street, 5th of the year, 8-1 Red Sox. We've seen pitching and hitting. How about some defense? John Valentin, glove me tender, flips for the force. Red Sox had it all night. They win it 8-2 the final. Every Oakland starter except Mike Bordick and Terry Steinbach struck out. Clemens is 5-0 with a 2.06 ERA since the end of July. This is the Rockets' 60th 10-plus strikeout game. Indians and the Brew Crew. Indians very relaxed, close to clinching the AL Central. But the Brewers come out fast in the bottom of the first. Johnny Jaha, triple off the wall. B.J. Surhoff scores, 1-0 Brewers. Indians come right back, top of the second. Kenny Lofton facing Brian Gibbons. 2-run double to center.
1 run is in.
And it's 3-1 Indians. Then still top of the second. Here comes the relaxed Albert Bell. Goodwood solid spank. Major League crank. 3-run shot. His 36th. That leads the major leagues. The Indians cruise 12-2 the final. Brewers have lost 9 of their last 10 games. Bell 1 for 3, 3 RBIs. He's now hitting .318 with 105 ribbies on the season. Under 3,000 in the Metrodome, so the Twins beat the Tigers for the 7th win in 9 games. The Twins have now used 10 players at first base this year. We'll have highlights of this game later in the show. Gary.
Deep in the wilds of the wild card race and in the midst of a post-Labor Day series, the Rockies and Cubs were given an un-Ripken-esque day off. Wednesday afternoon, they were back at it in Wrigley as the Cubs tried to catch Colorado. They caught a wind blowing out, and a 3-1 lead in the second off Armando Reynoso. Todd Zeal popped it up. Where isn't that wind? Eric Young looking everywhere for it. Whoop, falls in. Brian McRae, who had doubled in a couple, makes it 4-1 Cubs. Top of the third. Back come the Rockies. It's up in that wind. Sammy, where are you? Larry Walker's fly ball goes off his glove. Trinidad Hubbard is headed home, and he is out of there. Still in the third. 4-2 Cubs, bags loaded, and Jim Bolger lets one get away. Vinny Castillo forces in a run with HBP, and then Jason Bates filling in at shortstop. Hits it into the corner. That's going to clear the bases. Galarraga, Girardi, and Castillo come in. Part of a 5-run third, all with 2 outs. In the last 2 weeks, Jason Bates is now batting .400 as the Rocks rock the Cubs 10-4. They go 5-3 on this road trip. They're headed to Cozy Coors, while the Cubs are a league worst 25-31 at Wrigley, with the Giants and Dodgers still to come in. Bullinger's now 3-4 at home, 8-2 on the road. Another matinee in the Murph. The Mets finishing up with the Padres. 8,300 showed up, and San Diego is well into this wild card race. But facing Scott Sanders, it's the squeeze. Rico Brogna comes in, and Bill Pulsifer, the pitcher, lays down the squeeze. They made it 5-1. All those runs charged to Fernando Valenzuela. But here come the Padres. Ken Caminiti off Pulsifer. Pulsifies one, a 3-run shot, tying a career high, his 18th home run of the year. And then Mark Newfield, the former Mariner who came over in the Andy Bennis trade, hits a line shot. But Mets came back to tie it, only to see San Diego pull it out on Biff Roberts. Base hit. They get 3 hits in the 9th, And he brings in Steve Finley, who's battling a bad back, sat out his third straight game, then started the ninth with a single in his first pinch hit appearance. Tony Gwynn extended his hit streak to 13 games. He had 3 hits, reclaiming the overall batting lead at 367. Joe Robbie, the Pirates and Marlins. Denny Nagel, winless in nearly a month. Greg Colburn takes the curveball and extends his hitting streak to 17 games and scores Chuck Carr. 2-0 Miami. Then the lights went out in right field. Game delayed 15 minutes. Kurt Abbott trying to provide some illumination. And Chuck Carr started lighting up the base pass. Stole second once. Stole it again. Would he try it again? He's just waiting for Angelo Encarnacion to catch him, and he couldn't. 21 steals in the season for Carr, who's missed quite a bit of action with injury. And then Jacob Brumfield, the line to left. And they got him. Kevin Young caught Conine to a great plate block by Charles Johnson, and the Marlins hold on by that count, 2-1. Willie Banks had his second strong outing in his last 3 after a brutal start to the season. He gave up just 1 run in 7. After leading the league in wins for much of the summer, Denny Nagel now remains winless since August 8th. Another afternoon affair in Atlanta. The Braves winning their 4th straight. Glavine, his 14th of the year, while also contributing an RBI double. Cards go on to San Diego. The only other National League game Thursday is the Braves in Florida, which will include a rain resumption, but it poured Wednesday there, and Hurricane Luis is coming.
Obviously, any other streaks we talk about on this show will pale compared to Cal's, but Andre Agassi will still try for his 25th consecutive victory as he faces Peter Korda. Andre is 5-1 career versus Korda, who he hasn't played against since a Davis Cup quarterfinal match in 1992. We pick it up with Andre after taking the first 2 sets, gave away the 3rd set, trailed by 2 breaks in the 4th, and there's Brooke. And honestly, how many times have you seen Blue Lagoon? Honestly. Agassi comes back to beat Korda 7-5 in the 4th to advance to the semis, 6-4, 6-2, 1-6, 7-5. Whatever happened to Chris Atkins? There's Brooke. Said Andre of Korda, he's a streaky player. I kind of thought he'd go away after the first 2 sets. I didn't quite put the nail in the coffin. In the day's other match, Boris Becker knocks off unseeded Patrick McEnroe. When the center rolls on, a look at the man Cal Ripken passed Wednesday night, Lou Gehrig, and why his streak may be more remarkable than Ripken's. Stay with us.
Right here in New Jersey, there's a group of people who have reinvented something we take for granted, the telephone. Thanks to them, old boring telephone service is now new and exciting, cellular, free from wires and walls. Life has never been so convenient.
Be home soon.
Reliability, quality connections to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And who are these innovators? The same people who bring this cable television picture into your home right now. The people of Comcast, leading the way.
Men, today the general's here to work you out.
Your tires get an even tougher workout on the road. So let Bret Harris Tire on Evergreen Avenue in Woodbury introduce you to the General. That's General Tire for all passenger cars and light trucks. Run over to Bret Harris Tire and get a price that beats the competition. Whether it's high-performance tires or tires for your car, it's General Tires at Bret Harris Tire in Woodbury for all the right reasons.
Hello? Here to fix that leaky faucet. Yeah, Frankie, it's in the kitchen. What are you guys watching? We're watching college football.
Oh, this is great. This is great, huh?
Thanks to ABC College Football on ESPN pay-per-view, your ticket to the best gridiron action is just a phone call away. Catch blockbuster matchups that you can't see in your local area.
Hey, Bill, sit down.
I heard you guys had the game on.
Yes.
Oh, man, look at this. You guys got any more beer?
Sure. Give him a beer.
The man who broke a 12-year streak of Republicans and took his own victory lap around and into the Beltway was at the game, and our Carl Ravish caught up with Bill Clinton.
I think you saw how much it meant to America. You know, that kind of dedication, they loved it. It made everybody feel better about baseball. as well as having the chance to honor Cal Ripken, I think it made them feel better about themselves.
Special to be a part of?
This is something you want your children to see, and you want your children to believe in.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
It is Cal Ripken's night, but it only became his night because of Lou Gehrig. Gehrig is considered the greatest first baseman to ever play the game. He's also known as the Iron Horse. The plaque at Yankee Stadium that honors him calls his 21-30 an amazing record that should stand for all time. And Gehrig is known for having a rare disease named after him. But now, with Ripken breaking his record, how will and how should Lou Gehrig be remembered? Here's Keith Oberman.
Days after Lou Gehrig took himself out of the Yankee lineup on May 2nd, 1939, he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, what we now call ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. Barely 2 years later, he was dead. The disease was and is so rare that the awful rapidity of Gehrig's passing was and has been accepted for 54 years as a tragic end to an amazing sports record, a brilliant career, and most importantly, a life well lived. But in all the time since, another, perhaps more meaningful and amazing aspect to Gehrig's illness has rarely been considered. Even in its most virulent form, ALS rarely kills in just 2 years. Those afflicted deteriorate, gradually losing limb and motor function, but living on for years, even decades. Consider college football coach Bob Waters and the scientist and author Stephen Hawking. The implication is clear. Lou Gehrig did not just die of ALS. He must have played on while he already had it. For the last several years of his streak, Lou Gehrig was dying. And every day, the physical skills that made him the player he was were declining to the point that he may have been playing on sheer will alone. On July 13, 1934, at Navin Field in Detroit, on a day when no cameras were present, Gehrig singled off Tommy Bridges of the Tigers. And as he rounded first base, he collapsed, in the words of reporters, immobilized with pain. He was carried from the field and diagnosed with lumbago, rheumatoid arthritis of the lower back. This pain would cause him to miss parts of games every season thereafter. Another diagnosis of lumbago in 1935, a, quote, lame back in 1938. If the debilitating back pain first noticed in 34 was in fact the onset of the disease that would kill him, that means that Lou Gehrig kept on playing with a terminal illness that would send others to wheelchairs for 700 consecutive games. Does what Lou Gehrig accomplished as a fatal disease ate away at his body, perhaps for years, perhaps for even longer than we have guessed? Does that deserve to stay, if not in our record books, then in our memories and in our hearts? Perhaps the plaque at Yankee Stadium does not need to be changed. What Gehrig did, whether a record or not, should stand for all time.
When we come back in a buck and a half, a pair of surprising appearances. Penn State basketball coach Bruce Parkhill saying something unexpected. Mark Furman resurfacing to tell us whether he was telling the truth.
Hey, anybody want to split a pizza?
Sure.
Pepperoni okay?
Great.
There's nothing quite like a delicious pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
Where are you?
Over here.
Which way?
In the corner.
Whoa.
Come on in.
With its thick golden crust, abundant toppings, and all that cheese.
Is this company named after you or your dad?
Me.
Oh, cool. It's meant to be shared.
What's the latest?
No news.
Satellite imagery. Aviation forecasts.
Still waiting, sir.
The high-tech training of the weather crew is critical to over 5,000 sailors on this carrier.
Any word yet?
Yes, sir. Right now, however, their expertise is important for a different reason.
This just in. Weather for our Liberty in Honolulu will be sunny with temperatures in the 90s.
For more information about high-tech training all over the world, call 1-800...
1,850 fat-free calories per serving. Pro Performance 1850, only at General Nutrition Centers.
I was scared. I shot. I ran.
What began as a simple confession.
We got the shooter.
Became a mystery.
Locked up the wrong brother.
Clockers, rated R. Starts Wednesday.
College hoops. Penn State basketball coach Bruce Parkhill has unexpectedly resigned, saying after some serious soul-searching, coaching basketball no longer has the same appeal to me. The 46-year-old Parkhill has been the head coach of Penn State for the last 12 years. His biggest win came in the first round of the '91 NCAA tournament when Penn State upset heavily favored UCLA. Parkhill's longtime assistant Jerry Dunn has been named as the new head coach. Gary.
In the O.J. Simpson double murder trial, retired L.A. Police Detective Mark Furman resurfaced from his self-imposed exile since March and took the stand simply to say, "I assert my Fifth Amendment privilege." The response, which he repeated to all questions, came first to a defense inquiry, "Did you plant or manufacture any evidence in this case?" Furman's six-word responses came after two more defense witnesses refuted his denial of using racial epithets. As Furman left the court, O.J. Simpson buried his face in his hands, apparently crying. The defense case could conclude on Thursday. Still ahead in the show, Monica faces her sternest challenge so far at the Open. Would she have enough left? And more on Mr. Ripken and the legacy he has built over the course of his streak.
If a better body came in a can, or from a box, or on a video, you'd already have one. So stop kidding yourself and join the club that lets you start getting in shape for $5. Valley Total Fitness. It's easy, because no other health club gives you more for your money. State-of-the-art equipment, classes, all for $5. It's the best health club value in America. So skip the drinks. Start getting the body you want right now for $5. Call Valley Total Fitness at 1-800-FITNESS. But hurry, this offer ends soon.
We're proud to announce that lease terms on the 1995 Trooper are not only the lowest they've been all year, but at $299 a month and zero down, they're really something to think about. Like, how do you actually put zero down? And if you put zero down, how does anyone know you really put it down? And if you wash your pants with zero down in the pocket, will you find it later in the dryer? It's a paradox inside of a riddle wrapped in an enigma.
Think about this guy. I don't like him. I don't like the way he acts.
I would have never believed that one guy could make a difference in a team being a world champion.
Well, his motor's on high all the time. If you're going to be a great player, and I don't care what position you're at, you got to be going every play. He's got a lot of mouth. That's what it is. I don't want to have anything to do with a guy. What's bothering you? The earring, the do-rag? So who? No, they didn't have that when I played. I don't know what you're talking about.
Welcome back. Wednesday night at Camden Yards was truly special. Cal Ripken broke the record. He's a player who not only represents consistency, but also class. Cal Ripken is a gentleman. Wednesday night was one of those moments that restores your faith in people, that makes you believe, yeah, we're going to be okay. We're still a great country. Of course, that feeling quickly leaves when you watch the MTV Awards Thursday night. Here's Frank DeFord with his thoughts on Cal Ripken.
We love streaks, don't we? Americans positively adore streaks. Take the word consecutive away from a sports writer, and he is lost. Remove the phrase in a row from our lexicon, and oops, there goes Sportscenter right off the air. I don't know why Americans are so consecutive crazy, but we are. And indisputably, of all sports, baseball means the most to streak freaks. But that isn't just because baseball is such a numbers game, and certainly that isn't the case in the matter of the streak. No. Rather, I think it's because baseball is played daily. So a baseball streak is habitual, quotidian, as much an everyday part of our existence as getting up and brushing our teeth and then getting up tomorrow and brushing our teeth and then getting up the next day and brushing our teeth. Johnny Unitas pitched touchdown passes in 47 straight games, which some statisticians have apprised to be a more daunting task than, yes, go on, say it, that sacred 56. Ah, that's part of the folklore. 56, the baseball number, every day. But name a basketball streak. A boxing streak? Go on, just one. Did you know that Bill Tilden once won 57 straight games in tennis? Of course not. Tennis is a tournament. Just as football is Sundays and basketball is now and then. Only baseball must be played like life, one day at a time. And 2,131 baseball games. Now, that's a streak. 2,131 is more pages than there are in this dictionary. More pages than in the whole Bible. 2,131 just goes on and on and on. And just like 2,130, it is, of course, a record absolutely unbreakable. But, and here is both the great charm and the irony to the streak. Unbreakable and impossible though it may be, what Ripken has done is also something we can easily identify with. It's very much a simple human achievement. Sports has been made so complex, so rich, the players so aloof and vain, that it's wonderful for baseball, for all of sport, to be brought down to earth with something so plain by someone so straightforward. After all, we can't imagine ourselves hitting one home run, let alone 61, or throwing one touchdown pass, never mind dozens, or taking so much as a single punch from Mike Tyson. But like Cal, we can show up to work every day because we already do that. Try to. We know how hard it is to punch a clock 2,131 times in a row, or to make the school bus 2,131 times consecutively. That's every day from the second grade through your high school graduation without a single absence. We try and we can't do that, but we can feel what it's like, 2,131. So what Cal Ripken has done is more real, because it's only tangentially about being blessed by great talent, but it is centrally about us and about all our everydays.
Thank you, Frank. After Cal, here are the longest active streaks. Frank Thomas is second with 235 straight games. If Ripken sat out on Friday and Thomas kept playing, Thomas would break Cal's record in the year 2007. Greg Kilburn and Gary Miller with you for a full hour. We've got the wild card race to talk about, but first we focus on 21-31.
As Frank said, Babe Ruth's 714, Ty Cobb's 4192 have survived as magical numbers, even though their records have been broken, and we may not know for years what digit Ripken will sit with. But it was a baseball moment no one wanted to miss, including the nation's first baseball fan. Listen for Bill Clinton behind John Miller as Ripken batted in the fourth.
Even on 3-0,
he'll still swing at it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
3-0 to count. Here comes.
Swung at it. Gone. Goal. Yes.
Obviously, no one informed the president. No cheering in the press box. Ripken homers in his third straight game after going more than 3 weeks without a tater. The Orioles hit 10 homers the past 2 nights against California. Mike Messina joined Greg Maddux as the major's only 16-game winners, but Ripken stands alone all time. Peter Gams and Carl Ravitch give us perspective in just a few minutes. In other action, the A's at Fenway, Roger Clemens chasing history. First 10 strikeout games since the 4th of July of a year ago. Got Ricky Henderson there. Red Sox had plenty of hitting. Bill Hasselman. Does anybody in the Red Sox not know how to hit? A 2-run shot over the screen on the Lansdowne Street. And John Valentin, who's got over 2 dozen, playing some great short behind his back flip to Luis Alicea. Clemens and the Sox win at 8-2. Clemens moves into 29th all-time on the strikeout list since the end of July. He's now gone 5-1. Winning 5 in a row. His ERA is 2.06. The A's head back to the coast trying to remain in this wild card race with a 12-game homestand. Already eliminated in the East because the Red Sox are so far out front. Toronto picks up just its second win in a 10-game road trip, their worst away from Toronto since their inaugural year of '77. The Royals, with the loss to Leiter, are 11-23 against left-handed starters, and they're headed to Seattle where they could face Randy Johnson. Here are the wild card standings. Royals do remain out front barely. The Yanks move within a game of Seattle, and the Mariners played one of just 2 American League games coming up on Thursday. They'll be at Cleveland, Bosio against Nagy. And here comes Chicago. Just 5.5 out now, tied with Baltimore. They complete a series with Texas on Thursday, but it's Wilson Alvarez, who was 0-6 on the road this year. Craig.
NL, Phillies and Dodgers. Ishmael Valdez lost his last 2 starts. Rebounds versus the Phils gets Mickey Morandini. 6 Ks for Valdez. Mike Grace making his second start for the Phils. Paints the inside corner, striking out Dave Hansen. Top of the 8th, no score, man on third. Kevin Elster flies to left. Robert Kelly makes the catch. Jim Eisenreich scores the game's only run. Phils win. And Mike Grace gets his first Major League win. Mondesi, Queiroz, and Piazza combined for an 0-11 night. Reds and the Astros. Pat Borders still healing Tuesday's wound. Stop of the second, no score. 2 on for Mark Lewis facing Donnie Wall, and it's over the wall. 3-run shot, Reds up 3-zip. John Smiley looks sharp, just off the DL, and the slider freezes Bagwell for the K, and the Reds win it. Smiley had not pitched since August 21st. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 Ks. Ron Gant, 2 for 3 RBI, 2 walks, and a stolen base. Expos beat the Giants. Tavo Alvarez, his first Major League win. 5 Expos had at least 2 hits. We checked the NL wildcard race, and the co-division leaders in the NL West, Colorado and Los Angeles, tied, followed by Houston, a game and a half back, Chicago and Philly, 2 back. Gary.
When we continue in 90 seconds, find out why a cartoon is costing Nebraska's student reporters practice privileges.
In the past, to gain weight, you had to eat food loaded with fat and cholesterol. Now there's GNC's Pro Performance 1850 Weight Gainer, scientifically designed with 1,850 fat-free calories per serving. Pro Performance 1850, only at General Nutrition Centers.
The strongest, fastest, most powerful hero is back.
I've got a reputation to maintain.
I'm afraid I've got to ruin it.
Kevin Sorbo stars in all new episodes of Hercules. And Lucy Lawless is Cena, warrior princess. An all-new series born of a restless spirit and a fierce passion to defeat the forces of evil.
Tell him Cena says hello.
Hercules, the legendary journeys, and Cena, warrior princess. Check local listings for time and station.
The emotions are high. You're hot.
It's pressure.
It's like a war without bullets.
We asked some of the hottest coaches in the game to switch antiperspirants and try Degree.
Body heat activated. Let's try it and see.
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to switch.
Just keeps you dry.
It certainly worked for me.
Switch to the antiperspirant that's body heat activated.
In the heat of the moment. That self-confidence has got to be there.
Degree antiperspirant for an extra degree of protection.
In the past, to gain weight, you had to eat food loaded with fat and cholesterol. Now there's GNC's Pro Performance 1850 Weight Gainer, scientifically designed with 1,850 fat-free calories per serving. Pro Performance 1850, only at General Nutrition Centers.
More Cal to come. College football now. Nebraska is the reigning national champ, ranked number 2 this season at preparing to play Michigan State. But from now on, no matter who they prepare for, the student paper will not be allowed to attend practices. The reason? A pair of cartoons appearing in the student paper, the Daily Nebraskan, this week. This one shows Husker receiver Riley Washington practicing with a ball and chain. Washington is up on second-degree murder charges from a shooting in Lincoln last month. In the other, Heisman candidate Lawrence Phillips is depicted driving a car with money flowing out of it. Phillips is under NCAA investigation for a questionable car lease and other benefits. Coach Tom Osborne called the cartoons inappropriate and attending practice a privilege, not a right. Here's what's going on at other campuses across the country. Bobby Bowden thinking about his future, Lou Holtz longing for the past, and Rick Neuheisel getting superstitious with the College Football Report. Newsday's Ivan Mizell.
Any day now, the lawyers will quit wrestling and Florida State will announce that it has signed Coach Bobby Bowden to a 5-year contract extension worth more than $1 million per year. Now, Bowden will be the first head coach to reach 7 figures, but for him, as important as the money is a rollover provision. Bowden will turn 66 in November, and he's scared to death that his age will be used against him in recruiting. With the rollover, he can tell every recruit he's got 5 years left on his contract. Fumble. Ask SMU about a fumble. 2 years ago at the Cotton Bowl, Arkansas beat SMU 10-6. In the final minute, from the 1-yard line, the Razorbacks' Oscar Malone went over the goal line. He lost the ball and SMU recovered, but the official ruled that Malone had crossed the plane. Last Saturday at the Cotton Bowl, SMU beat Arkansas 17-14. Razorbacks quarterback Barry Lunny from the 1-yard line in the final minute fumbled and SMU recovered. This time the official said Lunny hadn't crossed the plane. Same end zone, similar play, different result. You want to know the difference between Notre Dame and Northwestern last Saturday? Each team had 12 plays of 10 yards or more. However, 11 of Notre Dame's 12 plays came on first or second down and only 1 on third down. Northwestern had 5 big plays on third down, including 3 in the fourth quarter.
And we just have trouble on third down. We have trouble on third down. And so when you try to become a big play team by doing the unusual and the unpredictable and you don't succeed, you're now off rhythm.
Holt said teams may survive without making big plays at key times, but only if they're consistent. Time to talk superstition. Colorado coach Rick Neuheisel says he's not superstitious. But for his collegiate head coaching debut at Wisconsin, Neuheisel wore his 1994 Rose Bowl watch to remind himself that while he was at UCLA, he had lost to the Badgers. It must have worked. Colorado 43, Wisconsin 7. This week, when the Buffaloes play cross-state rival Colorado State, Neuheisel's wife's grandparents, Cassius and Una Payne of Wichita, Kansas, will be in the stands. Neuheisel is 4-0 as an assistant coach when the Paynes were in the stands. But no, he's not superstitious.
Thanks, Ivan. College Game Day this week live from Knoxville, Tennessee, an SEC showdown between Georgia and Tennessee. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Craig James will get you ready for week 2 around the NCAA, including Tennessee's phenom QB Peyton Manning. Well, by the end of the week, we shouldn't have to hear another word about where Deion ends up, but we still do now. Stay with us.
Here's a story that's now a movie. You can order it at home on pay-per-view.
Groovy.
The Brady family's back. It's now the 90s. They're so far out too. For a groovy movie that is also retro. It's so easy, this is all you have to do. I'm psyched. Watch the Brady Bunch movie on pay-per-view.
Did you ever notice how different a road can look when an Oldsmobile goes by? People who get their Oldsmobiles from Valley and Bow notice it all the time. Like the way the Achieva transforms ordinary driving into smooth gliding pleasure, or the Cutlass Supreme's ability to make you feel like the road was built just for you. Then there's the Aurora, picture perfect in the city or on a country lane. Or hit the driving scene with the entire family in the Silhouette, all from Valley and Bow. People in the know, go to Valley and Bow.
Back to nature, huh?
Yeah, finally some peace and quiet.
Fresh air, a campfire, and ESPN college football.
It's 4th and goal. A timeout has been called.
Play timeout for Coors Light for your chance to win $1 million. See the Coors Light beer display for details on how to play.
We need more Coors Light.
Watch ESPN college football with Boston College at Virginia Tech.
Come on.
If Cal Ripken can homer and his team win easily in the games where he equals and breaks Lou Gehrig's all-time record, then Monica Seles just might be able to not only make the final, but win her first major since her 2-year injury layoff. At the U.S. Open, taking on Jana Novotná, who was game and looking to win a set off Seles, the first time that would happen since her return. But Seles had a great return there, going to get the lob, came back to the net. Little forehand dink. And a passing shot to win it. Wins the first set in the tiebreaker 7-6, the second 6-2. She's now won 19 straight U.S. Open matches. As Monica said of Novotná, she is a cool cat. Maybe she needs a little bit more of the fire. In today's other quarter, Brenda Schultz-McCarthy, her opponent, Conchita Martinez, said served like a man, splattered 64 unforced errors around Conchita. The 1994 Wimbledon champ Martinez plays Seles in the semis, having never won so much as a set off Monica.
D-Day for Deion is drawing closer. Apparently, Deion Sanders is going to decide by Friday which team he wants to play football for this season. Meanwhile, the Niners, Cowboys, Broncos, and Dolphins are getting ready their offers. Before going to the ballpark Wednesday, Deion was signing autographs at a Sega convention, letting his agent Eugene Parker deal with the negotiating. Right now, Deion's not sure where he's going.
If I've made up my mind, I definitely let the world know because, I'm tired of the whole thing. Hopefully, we get off real soon and the decision is easy from there. What's today? 6. Wednesday, probably to Friday, hopefully. It's over by Friday.
Troy Aikman's agent Lee Steinberg told ESPN Wednesday night that he has begun restructuring the quarterback's contract, this in an effort to free up money under the salary cap and help the Cowboys sign primetime.
The Cal Ripken show is far from over. When the center rolls on, we'll go to Camden Yards, hear from Cal and our Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Miller. Looks like I'm going to be a while. So how about if I tell you about my brand new late night talk show? Hey, you just got in there. Did you wash? Look at them, girls. In and out in a minute and a half. Sound familiar? I'm tired of waiting. I'm coming in. All right. Oh, my goodness, sir. Need a permit to carry that thing?
The Stephanie Miller Show premieres September 15th. Check local TV listings.
My name is Stephanie.
Hi, who's this? What
Mel.
are you thinking about, Mel?
Something sweet.
Like what?
Caramel.
Caramel's so different. What would you like to do with it?
I'd cover it with roasted peanuts.
Roasted peanuts and creamy caramel? Mel, you're making me so hungry.
What you want is a payday.
That brings up Big Mo Vaughn.
86 season, please.
I heard that. 86. And I'm sick of it, okay? You make one tiny mistake, and they never let you forget it. They just keep laughing and laughing at you. I got news for all of you, all right? We're going to be the ones laughing this year. We're going to be laughing at you, and you can wipe that 86 smile right off your face! Get out of my way!
Red Sox fan.
Buckner will be avenged!
At Fenway Park in Boston, fans watch the ceremonies on the scoreboard while Ricky Henderson applauds Cal Ripken's milestone. County Stadium in Milwaukee. Fans and players turn their attention to the center field scoreboard. The ballpark in Arlington, Ozzie Guillen shows his appreciation. Lou Frazier is mesmerized. And it's official at Lou Gehrig's ballpark, Yankee Stadium in New York. The fans with a standing ovation for Cal Ripken.
The president was there. The ovation lasted more than 22 minutes for a streak that took 13 years in the making. And the game and ensuing ceremony lasted nearly 5 hours. Well, it isn't official until Peter Gammon speaks. Carl Ravitch and Peter were part of the throng at Camden Yards.
Gary, thank you very much. At Camden Yards, 2131 now, hangs from the B&O warehouse. And what we witnessed here, the 46,000 plus, including the president and vice president, bordered on the surreal. Peter Gammons joins me, and I liken it to a movie. I could have sworn I was watching a movie because everything was scripted so beautifully.
That was a celebration of affirmation of American values. I mean, that sounds very corny, and I don't mean to transcend with some sort of metaphor, but that's what it was. I mean, I was there when Aaron passed Ruth. I was there when Pete Rose passed Cobb. They were very different. The great moments, the most electric moments I've ever seen, Kirk Gibson's home run, Carlton Fisk's home run, were very different. But this was the warmest experience I've ever been near in sports.
Trust me, there were tears from the fans here. There were tears up in the television booth. I spoke to the vice president and president afterward. They were very shaken up. The amazing thing as well from this night is Cal Ripken delivers a home run, single. It couldn't have come out any better for him.
Like Rose, as he was going for it, like George Brett when he was trying to hit 400, Cal made up his mind he was going to enjoy every moment. He's worked this hard. Why not enjoy it? And that's what made it great. A lot of athletes withdraw. Cal just said, I love it. Thank you very much.
I don't know that we will ever see another moment or 15 minutes like we saw when Cal Ripken came out after the 5th inning.
Well, I was in the clubhouse, a lot of the Angels players at the end of the ceremony. That's the way they felt. And the feeling, when Cal made the base running mistake late in the game, Jim Edmonds, with so much respect, he couldn't throw the ball to first base to show up Cal. He just sort of rolled the ball in the dirt and let him get back.
He has a pool table. He now has a rock that weighs 2,131 pounds. Cal Ripken, and this night, I know I'll never forget, and I'm sure I speak for you as well. That'll do it from here. Now let's go back to Bristol and Gary Miller. Gary?
All right, thanks a lot, Carl and Peter. Now that the streak is his, here are the next milestones for Ripken. If he continues to produce average seasons, 168 hits, 23 homers, 607 at-bats, and 89 RBIs, he could reach at-bats and RBIs in 1998, and all of them shortly after playing in the 1999 All-Star Game.
As the center moves, we get a little feisty. Break it up, fellas. Break it up.
Remember this date, fans. May 2nd, 1939. Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, has just taken himself out of the Yankee lineup for the first time in 14 seasons. 2,130 consecutive games, a record that will stand as long as young men play the game of baseball.
Have you heard what Jim's driving?
What's he got now?
You should see this thing.
What an incredible machine.
Sleek, aerodynamic.
Fast?
Oh, yeah. That baby really moves.
So what kind of engine does he have in that thing anyway?
Nuclear reactor.
You'd be amazed at what teenagers are driving these days.
Right full rudder, steady course 355, helm on.
For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Birdie.
Stage 4 of cycling's Tour of Spain, and we have an unusual occurrence. Leonardo Sierra of Venezuela and Ramon Gonzalez of Spain pull each other over from their bikes, and they go at it. Oh, yeah, this is fun. These are cyclists. We've finally found... Oh, there's the spin move we've been looking for. A worse fight than Tyson McNeil. We found it finally. They break it up. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
From HBO Pictures, A Simple Man.
Can't farm, failed at business, can't dance, don't sing.
How come everybody likes you so damn much?
A complex world.
The president is dead. Mrs. Roosevelt, is there anything I can do for you?
You are the one in trouble now.
A legendary president. Truman, starring Gary Sinise from Apollo 13 and Forrest Gump on HBO.
Hey, anybody want to split a pizza?
Sure.
Pepperoni okay?
Ready.
There's nothing quite like a delicious pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
Where are you?
Over here.
Which way?
In the corner.
Whoa. Come on in. With its thick golden crust, abundant toppings, and all that cheese.
Is this company named after you or your dad?
Me.
Oh, cool.
It's meant to be shared.
This weekend, ESPN's lining up for two great rivalries. Peyton Manning and the Vols welcome Georgia to Knoxville. Then, Colorado State takes on the Buffs in Boulder. Georgia versus Tennessee at 6:45. Colorado State versus Colorado at 9:45. Saturday on ESPN.
And, of course, at Cal, did you know? The all-time professional record for consecutive games played is held by Sachio Kanagasa of the Hiroshima Carp Japanese baseball, 2,215, only 84 to go.
That's it for SportsCenter. I'm Craig Kilborn.
And I'm Gary Miller. Here's one more tribute to Cal.
Here come the Orioles with Cal Ripken and the Birds coming out of the dugout. The pitch. There's a long high drive. Deep to left center. Way back. Ripken, home run!
We're halfway through the event now. There's some sense of relief, but there's still some sense of terror for tomorrow night.
Thanks for being here on this special day. Great day.
It's a great night for Cal, great night for baseball, a great night for Baltimore and the state of Maryland. If he throws one down the middle here, even on 3-0,
he'll still swing at it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
3-0 to Cal. Here it comes.
Swung at it! Gone! Goal! Yes!
I know that if Lou Gehrig is looking down on tonight's activities, he isn't concerned about someone playing one more consecutive game than he did. Instead, he's viewing tonight as just another example of what is good and right about the great American game.
Coming up on